I have always been visually impaired. My parents are visually impaired. They went to the school for the blind, they fell in love and they had me. I'm a social person. Whatever job you say deals with people, interacting with people, I would be a part of it. So I went to the school for the blind when I was 4. And then in those days, when you were 12, 13, they had what was called an integrated system, where if you could handle academics, they would send you out into the high school. So I went to St. Hugh's High School and then to Michael. I didn't really decide that I wanted to be a teacher, because I even went to Edna Manley and decided I was going to try music. I didn't like it, so my parents said, why don't you go to Michael? I just went to Michael. I did guidance and counseling. Then I realized that when I was on teaching practice, I went to Kingston High. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done. And I decided that I'm going to stay in that career.
Coming here at Kingston High, did you have any reservations?
No. I wrote to all the schools in Jamaica to get a job, and I got 5 interviews, and I was successful in one, because most of the other principals decided that they weren't going to try me because they weren't sure how a blind teacher or a visually impaired teacher would work in the system. So Mr. Reed is now deceased. He was my principal, and he decided that he was going to give me 3 months to prove myself, and I'm here. It's been 12 years.
What were those first 3 months like?
Well, at that time it was a little easier because I could see. So I was working in the library as a library assistant, and I would help with English. When I went back to university and I lost all my sight, it was very devastating. So when I came back in 2015, it was very hard. However, my colleagues, they were very supportive, and they basically helped me to transition from being a visually impaired person to being a blind person.
Miss Warren has me for 2 years. First I was in 7I, and she was my teacher, and she's like, in a 7I you can move up your ranks go to 7K, and she was all like, Sophia, you're going to in 7K, 9K, 8K, and you're doing great, students. So I was like, she's very encouraging. I see Miss Warren going across the bus stop, I help her, and also when she's writing on the board, I will help also, and when she is coming upstairs, I will assist. Almost everyone in the classroom she have from grade 7, so when she hears her speaking, she just say, Crystal, stop talking. Ashanti, stop talking. Yeah. So she just knows.
Challenges. First of all, discipline. You know, I'm at an inner city school. Discipline is not as high as in the traditional high schools. Another issue I have is traveling. Getting to school, trying to navigate the streets, trying to navigate the sidewalks.
She's a good teacher, and she taught me a lot of things that come like on news and in newspaper. She did teach me about puberty in 7th grade.
And why is that a memorable experience?
Because the puberty that she teach you, the same thing that we go through in life.
I do it different than other teachers. Most teachers, they can see, they have the advantage of sight, so therefore they would basically look at a child and maybe give eye contact. Eye contact is very important, but because I can't, I try to use psychology. What I try to do is motivate, you know, so I try to let you believe in yourself. If you're acting up, I'm going to tell you that, look, I expect better from you. But there are times when it doesn't work, and this is where the grade coordinators come in. I get very, very good support from my grade coordinators. These are the persons who supervise.
Yes.
So when the class is totally uncontrollable, then I'll ask my coordinators to help, and they're always willing to give a helping hand. I respect them very much, because as a blind teacher, I could not do it on my own. And the children also help. We have some children who are very mature, and they'll try to get the others in line. So I would say it's a collaborative process.
Is it a regular thing for you to walk around the classroom while you're teaching?
Yes, I have to do that, because sometimes my students will lose focus. So I have to walk around and ensure that everybody is attentive. And it serves a double purpose, because when I walk around, I speak to you, I get to know you.
Miss Warren is like a mother
for me very well. When I get into trouble, Miss Morris is the one who's always there to help me get out of the trouble.
What would be one of your most memorable moments with her?
Yes, I don't have a most memorable moment because every moment I'm here with Miss Morris, I like it.
How do you prepare for the start of a new school term when you will have a new set of students to deal with?
The first thing, my coordinators ensure that they orientate the students. So they let them know that there is a blind teacher coming. So how I do I, first thing, on the ground, I let you know straight that I'm blind. I will not see you. However, I will teach you and I will be your best teacher. So whether it's true or not, from the get-go, I basically put a positive spin to my disability. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I'd say it works 80% of the time, so I continue to use that strategy. I teach hundreds of students.
Yes.
Thousands of students come from my hand. But you see, a person's name is extremely important. So I ensure that I make the effort to learn your voice. Learn the student voice, learn the student personality, because each student have a different personality, right? So I'm not going to just tell you morning and there's a course. I'm going to speak to you. How are you? How are your parents doing? How are you feeling today? And so over time you're speaking to me, over time I'll know you. I believe it's the best job in the world. I wouldn't trade my job for anything, even if I'm getting double the salary.